So a lot of this game is making choices with dialogue trees, and right off the bat, we're met with about 5 dialogue trees from the story in the year Granddad died. Now, the fastest story actually goes something like Highway, They Feared Death, Playground, then something else. But I found out in the time it takes you to actually pick the fastest options, you're losing 2 to 3 seconds compared to just mashing through, even if you get, because the dialogue choices at that part is RNG. So even if you get the worst RNG on that story, we got pretty decent. But even if you get the worst RNG on that story, you're still going to be 2 to 5 seconds faster than if you took the time to actually sit down and pick them out by hand. So you can interact with the soda machine from the left, but we're interacting right on top of it. So as soon as that soda drops, we don't have to worry about moving over to grab it. We can just instantly snatch and go. He's going to drill it open, take a sip, and then we'll be off running. So the Weird Autumn update gave us a lot of things, mostly visual, mostly optional. The only one that's not optional, I'll be complaining about thoroughly as it's happening, so don't worry about that. But the one thing it did give us that will save us a lot of time is optimized loading times. The loading times are now very crisp, they are very fast, and as a result, taking sewers when you need to go meet Greg is always the better choice. So right there, that was about as close as you can get to jumping on the part of the log that doesn't react to you jumping on it. And you want that to happen because if when you land in the water, if you jump really close to the edge of the log, you'll land all the way back on the land. But if you jump that close, you'll land in the water. Now for this part, I'm going to be starting the triple jump in the brush right here. And what that does is instead of having to walk past, we're going to hit escape out of that real quick. Instead of having to walk past and go down to the pirate ship, we can just instantly do it. What happened right there was if you do the jump drop and hit the fence, instead of landing on your face in front of Aunt Mall Cop, you land on your feet with pride. We're going to talk to Dad, we're going to jump up the stairs and go to bed. He forgot he was supposed to pick you up today. Oh yes, if you've never played this game before, this is not how you want to experience Night in the Woods. You don't want to hear me talking over it the entire time. You don't want to hear quick synopsises on different things. Go ahead and actually play the game. And if you have played the game, then I suggest you stick around, because there is a lot of things I learned while speedrunning this. A lot of them actually might come in handy. So a lot of times when May turns around, you'll see the turnaround animation. You won't see it a lot from me. There's a way you can essentially skip the animation, and it's a lot faster than turning around normally. So we're going to say yeah. And that essentially saves us 2 dialogue skips. And then we're going to say, I think I'll run over and say hey. And that, in total, in a 20 dialogue skip conversation, saved us 12 dialogue skips. How? Alright, this is our first skip. As painfully unimportant as that sounds, it adds up. So now we're hauling it over to Greg. I believe that jumping up hills in this game is faster, and I've tested it. It is at this part. If you're spamming jump, it's gonna be faster than if you weren't. We're gonna be using the sewers to go say hey to Greg. Now what I'm doing in these loading screens is that I'm letting go of run and then I'm repressing it. And what that does is that if you are pressing left and you hit a loading screen, if you just keep holding left, when you load into that new area, the game doesn't count the input. Like, it just, no idea why, but May will load up just standing there. So you had to skip it. Everyone's favorite character, Greg, is here. And we're going to talk to him real quick and hit up band practice. B will show up. B or Bay. I prefer Bay, but her name's B. Here we take crack shots at electronic music. Now, it's actually not recommended to perfect the songs, because what ends up happening is after the songs, the dialogue for that was nearly perfect. Because you can't, even if you perfectly play the songs, they'll call it near perfect anyways. And what you want to do is you don't want to bomb, but you don't want to have the perfect, which I believe is about 3 misses. So we're going to try. Then we're going to mess up here. What? Hopefully they're not too critical of my guitar playing, bass playing. So I don't know if it's notable in this song. It's notable in Pumpkinhead Guy, but they added a lot new visuals to the Guitar Hero sections of this game. So let's see how we did. Pretty good. Perfect. Now we're going to go grab pizza. And then we're going to say, "Isn't that your pop store?" Give a slice for my boy Angus. Angus, Angus, I'm choking. Grab the slice. And we're going to say, and then it really doesn't matter. We're just going to mash through. That's going to be a lot of this game. It's a whole lot of not mattering. Greg's going to slam his arms on the table. We're going to have a good time. Come on. Alright. Arm stret's pretty basic. Just got to poke it up twice and then move that sleeve. Da, 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 da. Oh! Alright. So this is the part where we find out Bay's mom is dead. I say some ignorant bullshit. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a Christian speedrun. I didn't mean to do that. Alright, so in the morning we're going to check our computer. There's going to be a bunch of porn viruses on it. We're going to close out of it, get yelled at by an old man, and then go say hi to Angus. Sounds like a day. Also, you used to have 3 shoes. There used to be a shoe under your bed as you're putting your undershoes on, and they took it away. They took away 3rd shoe, and I think that's the biggest crime. Come say hi, and guess what? We're going to ignore our mom. Because today we don't have to talk to her. Don't do that in real life. So, yep. If we say we're back in 24 hours, we just have to skip 14 conversations. But if we say we were elected mayor, we had to skip 19. So, we have the old time, John, and then we go back in the house because I'm a fraud. Remember how I said this was going to be a baseline world record? I wasn't lying. It's about as baseline as it gets. Is more baseline than half the songs we play. Oh, fun fact. If you keep running and you don't jump up these stairs, the game has no mercy, and it will make you run past the stairs. Found that one out the hard way. So our buddy Greg will have cups on his ears. Very hilariously adorable. And we are just going to be in shock, because being in shock takes half the time. Now we are going to go to video post 2, I believe is the name of it, and talk to the sassy alligator. Who's next door? Go ring the buzzer? So, the way the buzzer works is that you need to get zapped by it, but you can't just immediately get zapped by it. So what you have to do is either press above or below it, skip through the 10 lines of dialogue, and then press it again and get zapped. Whether you do it above or below it really doesn't matter. They are both 10 dialogue skips. Now we're going to select the second option because it's faster. And welcome to... It's kind of ironic because my other playthrough of this is only computer based, and this one is the opposite. Girl, you know I will. Girl, I'm so excited. And that will be the last time, barring me choking on Halloween, that we will be using that computer. Once again, Mom does not faze us, accepting the fact that we are ignoring her. Today, we're going to go hang out with Bay, I believe. Yes? Yes. There ain't gonna be a Possum Springs left to commit murder cults in. Visually, a lot of stuff. Beautiful game. Kick up some leaves. Now we're going to go get racially profiled by Aunt Mallcop. Some of you may have practiced this at home. I know I have. We're going to tell her, we're going to call her out on her bull. We're going to say, what do you mean folks like you? There she is. Yeah, thanks. We're going to go talk to our parents real quick. They will bother us about tacos. And although, in our heart of hearts, we know we would have said yes to tacos, we have to say that we're going to snack it up at the party. Now, the reason behind this is tricky. They both are 10 dialogue skips long. However, if you say no to tacos, you skip 2 dialogue skips in the future, because May will mention tacos when she throws up. And we gotta say, there we go. Thus begins the party. I don't make my own luck. I'm a luck machine. Alright, so the car ride we can prepare for the party. Mentally prepare, that is, because there are no dialogue choices in the car, or at least none that are notable. We're going to run to Greg, and we're going to say, hey. And we're going to tell him that we are going to talk to our ex. We're going to talk to our ex. And we're going to decide it's time to drink. Now, we're going to attempt to talk to our ex twice. That's one. And that's two. Now we're going to go reconvene with our friend, and he will notice that we are very drunk. We will not be talking to Bae at all in this party. She's actually quite rude. Talk to him twice. He's going to tell us to sit down. And we will do so. At which time, our ex-boyfriend will notice how plastered we are. And he will come over and talk sweet nothings into our ears. We will state to the world that we are a trash mammal. And spoiler alert, nothing we do matters until the dream sequence tonight. The kick in overdrive. So I think this is one of the most accurate representations of trying to talk while you're drunk in any video game I've played thus far. Because in your head, you're trying to be, why are you so mean to me? And then it comes out like that. It's perfect. And it's not totally accurate, but as far as video games are concerned, that's pretty close. We're missing a lot of our skips right now. We're doing terrible. We're not properly using our skips. Get tucked in. She gives us a little peck on the cheek. Tells us to have a good night. Thank you, B, for loving me as a friend. Nay, as a best friend by proximity. So we can smash cars and we can smash street lamps, but none of that really counts towards anything, and none of that really, truly matters. So instead, we're just gonna run. We're gonna keep running, follow the most linear dream we'll ever have. Yep. Oh. Alright, back knee. Front knee twice. One more time for good measure. And it's down. And technically, this is where Weird Autumn begins. So, bam. Now, we do have to talk to Mom today. Luckily, the mass choice is the fastest choice in the conversation. We're gonna sit down, we're just tired. So what happens is that this conversation is 31 dialogue skips. The second choice doesn't matter, whatever you choose. But the first choice matters a lot because when you choose that you're just tired, it's just 10 dialogue skips before you can go on with your day. And if you uh, choose the other one, it leads to a completely new path and all of that. Uh, Today we will talk to Selmers and we will say, hey, don't want to listen to your poetry, sorry. In the real game, this is the opposite of what you want to do. You want to say yes every day you can. I usually end up doing that. Okay, so we're going to use the tunnels, and we always use the tunnels whenever we're running directly to Greg, but this time we're doing it especially on purpose because Possibilities has closed down, and May has some strong opinions on that, as do I. I think the main thing about this game is that it's too real when you move back to your hometown and you see that time has gone on without you is very it's strange. The mini putt place I used to go mini putting with my friends is now a bar. The shop that used to sell like craft sodas is now a vape store. Just life is hell. And we're gonna start band practice. You jerks. I mean, it's really give and take, because when I was little, we didn't have, like, they built a whole lot of stuff. We didn't have a Taco Bell super close to us. We didn't have a McDonald's super close to us. We didn't have a Walmart or a sushi place, even. That would have been amazing. The nearest Noodles and Company was 45 minutes away. Now it's like 20 minutes away. There was a lot of stuff that, like, had I been... I'd say like the golden age of being a teenager is really after you get your license and before you have to actually start contributing to society. And in that like golden, for me it was like not even a few months, but overall it was like I really didn't have to do anything for 3 years. And I'd say if during that time, if it was like right now, it's hard to say. There's give and there's take, but what remains is that the Denny's is open 24/7, and as long as we have that in our back pocket, it's fine. Also, we're gonna have to start messing up some notes. Chances are, like, everything would have been the same, but we would have been able to say, hey, let's get sushi, and it wouldn't have taken an hour of our night. There we go. Let's throw in one more mess up for the ladies. Oh, it's probably going to come naturally. We messed up twice. That's not good. Oh, 3 times. Oh, that's bad. Oh, no. There we go. Perfect. So, we're going to say that we're going to hang out with Bay. So in the car, this really doesn't matter. It's 3 dialogue skips. Either way we do it. So we're going to hit her with that braille. I really should have put a split here. It's not like I pay attention to the splits anyways, but... Oh, a lot of times, Bay's walking would, just stop and she would glide. That's not a thing anymore, sadly. Look at that. Look at that wasted time. It's truly, Truly a baseline. So we're going to take a walk in a Hot Topic. And we're going to steal. Don't do this in actual Hot Topic. They have a lot of security. Now, in our hands in the case, we're going to say shoplifting is no big deal. It's about 33% faster than the other choice. And now, we're going to play the worst Super Mario... Not Super Mario 64. The worst Mario Party minigame. Nice. Now we're going to peer pressure our friend into stealing, although she runs a company and does not need this kind of pressure in her life. This is being a bad friend. Now, the text choices are RNG placement, but we're going to say, is that like you, Revolution? And then we're going to say, that's dumb. And as a result, we are going to be the best friend. Well, there we go. There we go. And we successfully did it. But don't worry, because we're going to return our stolen goods later. And we're going to have a bite to eat. And have a lengthy conversation about God at the table. Make sure you post about your favorite religion and why, and especially post about your least favorite religion and why you think people who believe it are stupid in the comments below. I would really appreciate that. Now, there's a lot of choices at this part, and the difference between the fastest choice and the slowest choice is 2 dialogue skips in a conversation that is, I want to say, about 40 dialogue skips. So, are you going to go be a child? Oh, this is awful. What is happening, man? Okay, so at this part, hitting people with the fish does make it go faster. It is not timed. That was pretty decent. Now we will return our stolen goods as forfeit. Here we agree to let old memories die old. Stay hydrated. I have over a gallon of gamer fuel.
terrible joke. This whole run is just terrible. Like, jokes are terrible. Everything I'm saying is terrible. I'm messing up all the all the parts of this game. There's very few parts that actually require skill, and every one of those parts I'm just choking at. Uh, let's see if I can redeem myself in a dream. If I save my run in the dream, I have to wake up and apologize. Not bad. This is the only hard jump. There we go. That was a 3-frame window. And we're done. Not bad. There's a sad, miserable, rainy day. So we will go see our sad friend, B. I think the coolest thing about this game is that you pronounce her name like you pronounce the emoji. B. Let's hang out today. Look at that. We hit one of our splits appropriately. So this was a hunting cabin turned house owned by an old lady whose government took her husband away because he was a dead body. And she's complaining because the furnace is keeping her up at night. Alright, so B's gonna get behind the furnace to work on it, and then we're gonna examine the front of the furnace. Oh, but this is new to Weird Autumn. We learned that when she is smoking indoors, it is a fake cigarette, and that's why there's no smoke, even though there's not a lot of smoke when she smokes outside. She's trying to kick the habit. Personally, I think somebody should mod the game where she has like a big fucking vape pen. Alright. It's part of my never ending being a fraud. Maybe it's like speaking, where if you don't say that, you know, when you're giving a speech, if you mess up and you like, there we go. Okay, so we are going to go back to the furnace to get a good idea. And now that the idea is had, let it be known, for all the bad the bat has ever caused May, it has gotten her out of one jam. Now we will go perform a miracle to make our friend happy by collecting all the glowing boys and going back to her. And we have them all. Let's go have a nightmare. Now say what you want about the rest of this game, but I am killing it on the dream so far. And ask yourself, what truly matters? Also, this part's very confusing. Didn't figure that out till a while. Alright, so we lost about 2 seconds, but that's whatever. That was weird. I don't know why she did that. When I walked past that person, she turned around. Never seen that. Okay, so technically, both match choices are faster, but kind of already choked on that one. So we're just gonna grab the first of everything we see. Ends up being a pretty decent dinner. Mac and cheese, kiwis, tash. Oh, quick skip. Oh, that's biscuit. Okay, that makes a lot more sense then. They look like kiwi slices. All right. It's not my fault. Now we're gonna go say hi to Dad. Oh, that's RNG. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I'm a fraud. Oh my god, I wanted a pig roast beef. I wanted a pig roast beef. Oh, this is bad. Come on. Luckily we can match this. Uploading your splits.io should be mandatory. So, I think we just got the perfect dinner. That was a lot faster than it usually is. So now we're gonna see some awkward shit. We're actually really good on time right now.
All we have to do is avoid saying, I don't follow. You heard me. Go to hell. I hate you. This is just one part of the game. I'm not smoking a cigarette. And I'm really mad at me because of it. Think your dad doesn't let her smoke in the house? But she smokes everywhere? Oh, and you figure out that they have employed a kitty diddler. You always have a twin to me. You always have a twin. You know that Super Mario Party minigame where you're cranking up the wind up Shy Guy and you had to spam it as fast as possible? That if you ever wanted to do that for 2 hours straight, speedrun this game. Also, I can't even imagine the amount of effort that would go into like 100% speedrunning this game. That's for somebody who's not me. God have mercy on that person's soul. Alright, following in suit with the dreams that can't really be optimized even if you had the whole thing memorized. This one. There we go. Yeah, my path notes are messed up too. That's not good. Okay, so right after there, you can drop down. At which point you jump, and that should be the chimney right there. Perfect. Alright, sadly there's not an easy way to re-jump onto that middle section. You have to climb it from the base. This time we use this to get up on the roof. That was actually really good. Wow, almost missed that. At which point we drop. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, we're a minute ahead of time, by the way. But again, the unskippable part will knock that right back into reality. Isn't the Nightmare Before Halloween a Christmas? Or is it the Nightmare Before... Sorry. The Nightmare Before Halloween movie. Or it might be The Nightmare Before Christmas is a movie. I don't know which one. But today's pretty basic. All we need to do is walk into town and notice that it is Rip-Off Halloween. Also known as Harfest. You're just spooking some squirrels today. Happy Halloween. In that Halloween spirit. It should happen after the Telzon building, on the far left of the sign. There we go. Say no more. We are already on our way home. That was close. Don't want to get sucked up the church steps. Alright, this part's a little tricky. You have to be careful, because that doesn't appear immediately. And it's really easy to get sucked into the computer. It's just like real life. Wow. Boop. So, Weird Autumn added a lot of things. There is 2 mini games you can play. There is a marching band in front of the thing. Which I guess we don't get to see. Guess that's what happens when you spend time. Okay, Weird just saved us 3 dialogue skips. So essentially, this is the one part of the game where what you say really does matter. Because people will call you out and correct you on the lines. Pretty much you pick the one that's not a Tumblr joke. That was mean. But not as mean as the article Rock, Paper, Scissors put out. That's a hit job. There we go. And we mash through, and it'll fade to black for the first time. Da -da -da. I really like the soundtrack to this game, mostly. Also, shouts out to Greg for always wearing a leather jacket, despite the fact that leather jackets are very hot and mainly uncomfortable. Wednesday, December 27th. Computer programming training. Line. It's the janitor. Young witch, it is I, the forest guardian. Also, shout out to everybody who decided not to dress up for the play, and now I look like an ass. There we go. Rest of this is Mashfest. We're gonna check in on our buddy and see how far along he was at an hour. He was home. What?
far behind. We finished up the play at 102. At 104, he was still in the play, so we're 2 minutes ahead. That's really good. That's all I need to see. 2 minutes is buffer time. This is garbage. Does not get kidnapped and killed garbage, but it's pretty close. Also, I never really questioned the character's limitations until this scene. Like, the character design limitations. Well, this scene and Greg trying to pick a lock. Alright, so we auto run until directly after the light post, at which point we need to spam. And then we have to auto. Then we have to manually run. And then Aunt Mall Cop is here. She yells at us. Me. You do not want to go past defense. Oh, Mr. Fucking VHS tape over there is gonna kill you. May, go home. Do you think Aunt Mall Cop knows about the murder cult? Because there was a big thing where there's a big hullabaloo about they thought she was in the murder cult. And then Weird Autumn came out, and in the epilogue, she's freed. So even though she's freed, like, I shouldn't say freed, but now she has an alibi. She wasn't in the murder cult. But that's not to say she doesn't know about the murder cult, because obviously if there's children missing in this small town, statistically speaking, the numbers are so much higher. I don't know. What I'm trying to say is there's a good chance she knows of it and she's trying to protect May from it. But, oh, that's a split. Oh. But she herself is not a part of it. Alright, so this is a pretty basic day. Mom's gonna say hey. And we can't ignore. But there are no dialogue trees, so we get to do this. We get to have fun. I think my hand's starting to give out. Nope, there we go. Thanks, Mom. Whoa, what? That's weird. What? Maybe weather on this day is RNG. I don't remember it being rainy twice. I thought there was only one day where it was rainy and miserable. Whatever. Going to band practice with you, bud. Let's go. Most band practice dialogues are 38. So, essentially what we do is that we play Pumpkinhead Guy, and you get to see the really cool new art thing they've done with this song, which I like a lot, where it's like glow-in-the-dark Pumpkinhead. Which is actually really distracting, because I like looking at it too much. Here's two. We got like two more mistakes, which I think will probably just happen naturally, um, with how the song goes. The solo's not hard per se. It's just kind of fast. The fast drumming is annoying though. Yeah, see? It's so cool. There we go. Perfect. Amazing. Amazing. The couch claps. AGDQ. It's 2020. Catch me. Okay, so there are two dialect trees in this part. Neither of them matter too much. Why is your guy? That was your VHS tape. Yeah. All right. So we don't see if there's ghosts. I've found out this run that oh, I don't have a library skip. What do you mean I don't have a library skip? Weird. Whatever. So we're gonna phase past. Also, they only have bears as workers here, which makes me think that bears are an underclass in this Night in the Woods society. We're breaking the conditioning. We're seeing past their lies. Weird Autumn update. Patch 1. If you're watching this, person who made this game. First of all, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. Second of all, if you're watching this, thank you. Start with sorry, transition to thank you, and end on 1. Bay needs a vape pen. If it's not mandatory in the game, make it an option. 2. Make someone who's not a bear work at one of the two places. I get that Greg works at the shop and Bay works at her store, whatever. And my dad's a cat and he works at the store. But are there really only 4 types of people? Yeah, put a raccoon. Put a raccoon as the librarian. If that's my one change to this game, if I could have one impact on this world, I want it to be that no, bear can be the librarian, but no. Man, maybe you have crafted the perfect game. I apologize. Because bear librarian is adorable. They make little bear noises. Tell you to shush. Nah, you should have a loud ass animal. Yeah, make a woodpecker the librarian, because that would be ironic. Because woodpeckers are constantly the loudest thing in the world. And super annoying. Is that it? Yeah, we're done. So quite possibly, the most important skip in this entire game, the most important dialogue that will waste all of our time if we mess this up, is going to be saying no to the poetry meeting. And if you have not played this game before, or if you have played this game and you've said no to the poetry meeting, never say no to the poetry meeting. Okay, good. We're good. No to we don't like. This line's really good. We're not into rhyming everything we say, and he says poetry doesn't have to rhyme. And May's reply to that is, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. Which I agree. Non-rhyming poetry is just spoken word. Uh-oh. I accidentally hit the I button. That's not good. Guys, I gotta be careful now. I gotta play the rest of the game without hitting the I button, or my splits are gonna be off. Should be an undo split button. Whatever. Doesn't matter, we're already in the next stream. Alright, so this stream's a little complicated. It has a hard jump that you can't mess up right at the beginning, which isn't a lot of fun. Oh, thank God. Oh, come on. Some parts of this game, there's some of them where you can trigger them from underneath, and there's some of them where you can't. And they don't make it the most straightforward thing as to when the rules apply on that. Now we will climb the aggro crag. Shout out to anybody who understands the reference. For everybody who doesn't, Nickelodeon Guts, I believe it was called. Best. Everyone talks big about being a 90s kid. That was the peak 90s kid experience. So if we get this jump right, which should be... Boom. Good. Now our sheets of paper are getting low, but it is important to keep in mind the last 30 minutes of this speed run is one sheet of paper. And that is not a joke. That is. This game grinds to a dead stop. So now our most important mission is to go on 2 historical trips. One to the Historical Society and one to the graveyard. We're gonna do base first. This begins the split that we accidentally skipped. The graveyard. 117 on that timer. So, in the spirit of Weird Autumn adding things to this game, they have added a
It's a person who works at a graveyard, and the name of it isn't a crypt keeper. So I don't know what it's called, but I know what I wish it was called. Babe's gonna say, and she's gonna pray to her mom. Oh, but first we gotta. Okay, so there's different options here that you can choose, and the difference between them is literally nothing. They are all the same, and they appear RNG. So you know what they say: when something appears RNG, you hit the action key. Okay, now she's gonna go visit her mom. And we're gonna go mess with some graves. The second headstone, we're gonna say poor family. And on the last one, now this guy, he's the crypt keeper, and he is also a wedding DJ. If you talk to him, he explains that to you, and it's my favorite thing. Loved it so hard, and he smooched it just for me. Imagine somebody dying and they get their fursona on their tombstone. Imagine how devastated the family would be. Do you think that's a thing? I don't want to believe. No. I mean... oh god, I can't even imagine. You have this loving family and a wife and kids, and someone is just a dog with big tits. It's in Arlington Cemetery. Oh, that wasn't funny. That was. Oh god. Just the mental image is just. No, no, it's like anybody who's grown up in an area where it's low income. I worked in a very low income area for a while as a cashier, and I don't want to be racist. And I'm not going to be racist because it's just an observation. There's a thing with low income areas, and when their friends die young, they get that T-shirt where it's like "Rest in peace, Little Omni," and there's like a picture of Little Omni on their T-shirt, and it's like it's in that spray paint font, and it's like it's a nice gesture, but it looks ridiculous. I mean, the T-shirt just looks cheesy. It's sad almost, like those bumper stickers where Courtney with two K's and a W passed away, and so you get the bumper sticker for her. And I'm just imagining somebody's furry friend died, and it's, it's there for someone on a T-shirt. Why do they have to put the graveyard in here? This is just nobody's gonna think this is funny except me. It's just gonna be a terrible part of the run. And there's a lot of stuff I could be talking about too. There's a lot of interesting dialogue skips and text and what spawns what, and none of it I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about none of it. Ah, look at that. That's karma. I'm just talking about Little Omni. Yeah, that one's 4. There you go. Take a break from our regularly scheduled offending people who have lost loved ones to
This is what happens. You give me a microphone and you give me a boring game to speedrun in an hour and 20 minutes, and it has devolved into this. Pretty sure by the time I'm calling time, it's just gonna be terrible. Gonna be outcasted by the Night in the Woods speedrunning community. Okay, so yeah, you there's 4 possible places you could check for ghosts here. You only need to check 3 total, so I do both the right ones and then the inside left one. Oh, she just cried a firefly. Alright, for those who are faint of heart, I suggest you look away, because we are about to see something so spooky, and it's going to be the only jump scare in the game. But it is, like, if you are pregnant or have a heart condition, please mute the game. And keep it muted, so you don't have to hear my commentary. Perfect. Jeepers. Like, what's skedaddle, Scoob? This is the most Scooby-Doo part of the game. Rate every scene in Night in the Woods by how much it reminds you of Scooby-Doo and make a BuzzFeed article about it. I'd read that. I'd read the shit out of that. Make a hit piece on me about what a terrible person I am for having the worst thought I've had in a month. It's an intrusive thought. I was talking about intrusive thoughts with my friend when we were standing, like, in line for a roller coaster, and I don't know where this kid's parent went, but it was just, like, a kid. It must have been with his grandpa or something like that, but the kid, like, this little 8-year-old kid, ended up riding with us, and I was talking to my friend. I'm like, oh, you know about intrusive thoughts? And he's like, yeah, I had an intrusive thought of, like, pushing the kid in front of the roller coaster. And it's like, you know, everybody has them, but when it's, like, out of nowhere and it's, like, in the moment right now, because that still could have been a thing we did. We still had time to make that a reality. And he's talking about thinking about it. Like, no, it's alternate universes. What if at that moment I was like, hey man. You know, I personally am having a blast, and in the end, I think that's what counts. My GameStop is charging me $40 for a pre-owned copy of A Link Between Worlds. $40 is how much a brand new PS3 costs. Is that game rare or something? I'm checking my Twitter, by the way, because this is a part of the game where we talk to God. We say that, and then we're gonna say, what? Tearing a hole? What about fall? And there's a lot of pressure in the dialogue key. What? Oh, yep. And we get to look at a space flea. It's, I don't know. Well, when you think about it, really, what's scarier to, like, an animal without modern technology than fleas? Like, what if that's, like, a really big issue? Like, what if I met God and he showed me AIDS? that would be scary. But, like, from the outside looking away, that's like, okay, Night in the Woods 2. You know how it was Harvest Moon and then Harvest Moon and Another Wonderful Life, and the only difference was, like, this time you're a girl? Okay, Night in the Woods, Another Wonderful Life, this time you're a dog, and they show you vacuum cleaners. That's what I'm getting at. That's... So anyways, trying my hardest to get this back. on some sort of track. You can't do both historical society missions back to back, sadly. However, today we are going to hang out with Bae at a party, which is 2 hours away, which people didn't know she drove 2 hours to get to. They just think she lives nearby. Um, and she's a college student. I relate to this somewhat. I like hanging out with my Chicago friends. I don't live anywhere near Chicago. I live like an hour away from Chicago. I still like show up for like a 2 hour, dinner with them because I just want to hang out. So I understand. B, most of this game, I root against you actively. But for this you have me. Also, that should be a split. Proximity should be a split. I think I did make it a split, and then I took it away. Oh, that was not the one I wanted. Whatever. See, we just wasted about 4 seconds. If you say the other option there is, yeah, she's intense, and that one's a lot better. There we go. Now we're going to go hang out with her pretentious friends. Papa T's, pizza, subs, and beer. Hey, it's me, Papa T. You're guaranteed to get anywhere from 1 to 2 slices of pizza. Is that a Lost comic? Is that what that is? It might. No. Right Side of the Pizza is a Lost comic. Sorry for everyone who enjoyed Papa T's up until that moment. Oh, and then it's a punching Nazis joke. Haha. Hee hee. Ho ho. There are no dialogue options. Also, best character in this game is, besides Craig, is 2 ears pierced dog in the background back there. We'll get to see him again, but there's one holy dance move. It's this one. There's one unholy dance move. It's this one. There's the meme dance move, which is that. This is on a timer. There's no real thing you can do. You can switch dance moves as fast as possible. That's what tugs your boat. There we go. Also, not gonna lie, if I had dance moves like May, I would also want to dance at a party more. But we will now channel the spirit of the universe to please give us good jumps for the rooftop section of this game, which is coming up right now. Nope, that was bad. That's bad juju. That's, it's gonna be rough. There we go. Reel it back in. Hit him with the jumping jack. Come on. Perfect. So now we're gonna really embarrass Bae in front of everybody and make her as mad as humanly possible. So, the usual. Now we're gonna say ghost stories. Now for the next option, both are the same. My dog exploded. I don't think that's how that line goes. Oh, Goatman is blocking 2 ears pierced doggo, but he's really cool. Also, owls in this game, if they didn't have that weird bush thing on the side of their face, that would look cool. Also, that guy has it. Is that like supposed to be hairstyle? Oh yeah, so for the rest of this conversation, it doesn't really matter what we pick. We just need to keep mashing. And our friend over here tries to
tell us to calm down and not totally embarrass Bay, but we managed to do it anyways. And then he'll threaten us outside the party. Because Bay is fake and I got a crush on Phone Wolf too. That's me IRL. Now I had to ask these fine gentlemen by pretending to be a cop to move so we can mount this dude's car and get on the roof. Even though it's this dude's car and we're like asking to jump on it. And then you're like, listen, buddy, I've killed. I'll kill again. Excuse me, my good friend Bay is somewhere on a bench. She needs my help. This part's hard. It isn't. It's easy if you're good, but I'm bad, so it's hard. Boo. Yep. Did I drop down the lowest? Yep, I did. Rough. Oh wait, no. This isn't the lowest. This is just if you mess up once so far. Nice. This way is definitely faster. And this part really doesn't matter. Oh, all I need to do is say, I'll learn to talk about God. I'll learn to talk to God. I don't even think that's a line. I probably mistyped something. But while we are in this endless conversation, let's check to see how we're doing. Send a few memes to my sister. We'll check how our friendo is doing at 136. See if we have gained or most likely lost time. We'll see where he's at 139. Why not? No way. No way. He started this conversation at 139. We're almost done with this conversation. It's 136. We're 3 minutes ahead, buddy. Maybe even 4. It's over, buddy. Excuse me, Dan. I believe we don't have any more dreams. Yep, we don't. Okay, so interesting part. We're gonna walk outside and we're gonna try sprinting to Greg so we can do the historical society. We're gonna get stopped by Aunt Malcop, and the funny thing about that is that you can try avoiding talking to her by hopping up a tree and then traversing the power lines, but if you do that, she'll yell at you to get off the power lines, and then you'll drop down and still be stuck in the conversation. So, as far as I know, so far, there's no way to avoid this conversation, but it's pretty fast. And it's spammable. You don't really need to do anything. You can just say, okay. Whoa. You like detective stories when you were a kid. Well, you remember that arm you found? It belonged to a man. Wow. Shouldn't you be protecting the mall. Is she actually a mall cop, or is that an insult? Clearly not, because there was no cops at that mall. Oh my god. No. We were supposed to use the sewers. She's gonna say something. And either way, not using the sewers is 2 seconds slower. Oh, we just gotta... What? See. Alright, I'm gonna waste 2 seconds of time real quick. Oh. Kill me? And we are going to the Historical Society. Now, welcome to the complaints section of the video. This is some bull right here. Alright, first of all, I had to say it's like in that one book. There we go. Now, usually at the end of the statement, as soon as this ends, before the Weird Autumn update, as soon as this ends, you start in the basement of the Historical Society. That is no longer the case. As you can see, you start outside the Historical Society in a dark patch of woods. You have to walk through the woods to meet Greg, and you have to shine a light on Greg as he not pickpockets, as he picks the lock of the Historical Society. Shaking my head. I think the scariest part about that is that it establishes what Greg actually sounds like. I don't like that, because I have a smooth talking dream daddy in my head, not the small child that is screaming during that part. Let me check my checklist here. Shine the light on Greg for as long as possible. Complain about how unskippable it is. Check, check. Run the stairs. Take the elevator.
Alright, so the paperclip's gonna be in the middle desk, one from the farthest left. So let's see if I got this. Got it. Greg says legit. Okay, and thus begins the slowest part of the entire speed run, where we are just left with the fact that the mash choice is the fastest. Alright, so even with that detour, we're still, even with the new weird autumn part, we're still like a minute ahead, so we're good. Like seriously, if you want to like skip to the end of the video, I don't blame you. This is you will learn nothing, and I have no important input left. Um, just that you're gonna learn nothing is, I guess, the main takeaway from this. This, if you've learned anything, if you've gained anything from this besides a deep hatred for me as a person, actually, you know what? I take that back. You will learn some stuff, but the stuff you will learn will be so spaced out that the next 20, I should say 30, the next at max 30 minutes of your life are going to be just wasted. I think he's in a straitjacket, but it's funnier to think he got a titty. So welcome to the most APM, the fastest APM in the game. The running section, where the fastest way to do it is to purposely get hit by every rock. So it's over now. And now we play is B. We play is B. Welcome to part 4, the end of everything. In this order, we need to talk to, not exactly in this order, but we need to talk to Angus, Greg, Jurg, Angus, Greg, Germ. Then we need to check the poster in the other room, and then we're done. Oh, that's not good. Look, Germ remembers her mom died. Oh yeah, we gotta check out the window. Now, we're good. Okay, do you remember in Modern Warfare 2, the part of the game when the nuke hits your helicopter and then it crash lands and you have to control your character and all you can do is sick walk because of the radiation until you die? Welcome to Modern Warfare 2. I have trained for this part of this game at least 3 times. That campaign is fun. That campaign is still fun. That first part of the campaign where they give you the night vision assault rifle and you're like breaching, not breaching, you're just clearing out a building with like your squad. At the time, that was mind blowing. You know what the most mind blowing thing was? Um, when he goes, "Oh, I'll see you on the other side," and then you have to jump into like just pure snow, and you have to stick your ice picks into the wall of ice because you're climbing up like the side of a mountain to get to this base. That was like little me just ate that up. Like that was the shizness. And Modern Warfare 2 came out. That game was amazing. They keep beating around the bush. They keep remaking like Call of Duty 4. Okay.
Remake Modern Warfare 2. I will play that any day of the week. Now we fade back into dust. Hey, we found your kid on the side of the road. Before we bring him to the hospital, let's bring him to the church. Dear great uncaring cat god in the sky, we pray to you that you give us the will, nay, the strength, to carry our sick daughter, son, still not sure, pretty sure it's a girl, doesn't really matter, to the hospital. That was them saying it, not me, by the way. With the janitor. And now he's the janitor from Scrubs, hee hee. What makes you think is the janitor all in May's head? Maybe. No, the other characters interact with them. Season 1 of Scrubs, the janitor wasn't supposed to be real. Did you know that? Go rewatch it. And then if you hate yourself, you can rewatch the last season. Or if you're smart, you can watch the last season. Because chances are you would have skipped it. Because the last season of Scrubs is a dumpster fire. The rest of it is pretty good. Except they killed off a character and then immediately brought her back. I didn't like that. Why'd they have to do that? That was upsetting. Oh, you can kiss a sub 2 hour running goodbye. Fuck if that's happening. And then you find a note on Greg and Angus's door. You are being loud. We were constantly hearing the pizza guy come to your door, and it's getting very distracting. Okay, now we gotta have sick pizza. If there's ever a time I could redeem myself as a gamer, it would be grabbing these 2 slices of pizza. It's hard to contribute to the conversation when you're dead. Oh yeah, I think I just missed the part where they just touch all the pizza. I'm sick. I'm not gonna eat all the pizza, but I'm gonna rub my stupid cat paws all over them. Ugh. Also, I did not redeem myself as a gamer, and I apologize. On behalf of the speedrunning community, on behalf of everybody who's ever played this game. Okay, now, I have to walk past everybody. I have to talk to Bait twice, which allows me to kick everyone out. Germ Cyclop looking ass. Base Cyclop looking ass. The final boss is coming up. That's exciting.
Yeah, we are a solid 3 minutes ahead. Two out of eight ain't bad. I should not have drank water during the speed run. I really need to go to the bathroom. And it's not like I can pause. Let's do this. Leroy. Okay, so I have a theory that that's not like his head, and that he like sees through the collar part. So where he got shot would be like his shoulder or his eye. I had a dream where you guys all died because of me. I had a dream where we went into this cave and videotape man grabbed me by the ankle, but I shook him free, and this old-timey mineshaft elevator collapsed on him. That was my dream. And they'll go, May, that is never gonna happen. You need to calm down. You need to think rationally. Alright, so I have one last thing on my to-do list right here, and it says finish the game. So let's do that. Gonna walk past the crank so my boy Angus in the back there can lift it for us. Thank you, Angus. Did she say the F word? Does May say the F word in this game? I'm not familiar enough with this part. That's so weird. I would not have thought. Okay. Alright, get ready for the final boss. Oh, my finger's not ready. No, he's not ready. Also, the moral dilemma, the question has been brought up to myself. Am I going to run other games? And will I be speedrunning other things in the future? I've had a lot of fun speedrunning, but at the same time, until a game gets me, like this game has gotten me, as in like my soul, um, I don't think so. Um, I mean, I think a melee speedrun would be cool. But that would be too hard. People are playing that. It has levels of perfection. That I mean, it's this melee and Team Fortress 2 are just the main things really, the main three games that I care deeply about. And even then, the other two I don't really want to speedrun. So this probably won't be the last time I speedrun, but As far as things are concerned now, this is looking like it. Come on.
Switching arms. Left arm. Go in on that J key. Both arms. Double time. That doesn't work at all. What if I shoot you? Yeah, well, what if we shoot you twice? They pull their sidearms out from, like, the shadows like it's a Looney Tune sketch where Elmer Fudd turns and it's just a big mallet. Remember, this is why the baby boomers have jobs. This is why millennials are such a shit generation of entitled brats. Because they were willing to put their foot down, do work, and sacrifice some children. These entitled millennials don't want to keep that tradition alive. Welcome to the core of why plants started failing. Why my grandkid doesn't call me. Why women. We're gonna end that sentence there. That's not one we need to come back to. Alright, we beat the final boss. We're making good time. But wait. R2 health bars. Somehow, this happens. Speed a canyon. End of your legs. You can't run. Do some wrist exercises. We're back in it. Should have done some forearm stretches. That's what I should have done. It's not in the wrist. If you're touching keys with your wrist, if you're moving your wrist to touch a key, that's not fast enough. You gotta get that twitch muscle in your forearm. That's how much faster it is. And wait for your friends. Dicks. Thank you. Okay, so weird part about this game that I feel really needs pointed out. Um, underwater, well, like forgotten mine shafts, the surface tension of the water holds chemicals and stuff. So when kids go into mine shafts and they break the surface tension of the water, all these gases are released, and I'm not making this up. All the gases are released, and it kills people. And so my thought on this is that she doesn't fall through the floor and get sucked into the guy, but instead, um, it's just her hallucinating from the gases. And as you can see, there's nothing there with her, and she comes to her own conclusion and just snaps right out of it. So, game theory, but that's a theory. A game theory. My name is Matt Pat. Thanks for subscribing to my channel so you can see Gaijin Goomba. See, she doesn't understand what the other person's saying. You don't visibly see anybody there. There's a very good chance that I'm right. There's a very good chance that I'm right. Now, if I was in charge of the director's cut of Night in the Woods, if I had the ability to make a game, which clearly I don't, I just had the ability to try hard on an indie game. But if I would end the game after this sequence. Right there. Boom. Credits roll. Done. But, no. And I do not blame them for not editing that. I know Pinguino, whatever, gave the creator smack for that. I'm gonna let it pass. When you're this far into your game, you're so close to being done. It's an indie game. Patreon backers are snapping at you. Where's my game? Where's my game? Just get it done, man. No harm, no foul. But again, it could have ended right there. This could have been done. So we have to mash through Germ being a good guy. Thank you, Germ. Germ's probably in on the murder cult. He probably knows. I'm sure he's not an active member, but he knows. So we're gonna mash through this dialogue. We're gonna wake up at our house. Give our condolences to our mom. Thank you for putting up with our shit. Then we're gonna go say hi to Greg? I believe? Yeah, I believe you just walk out and then you're in the barn. If not, we need to take the sewers to go to Greg. So we can say, you know. Okay. No. I don't know how Pinguino did it, but he actually closed the computer at that part. I think it'd be hilarious if I could open the computer. Like, if we could mess with the computer at that part and open up Demon Tower. Maybe there's a tech there. Probably a tech there. Germ buddy didn't really do anything with it. Oh, there we go. Log off, May. Log off. Believe. Yep. Alright. Dawn of the final day. 24 hours remain. Also, I did not try this game 149 times. That was Demon Tower. Even then, it was more like 120, I think. Epilogue. But I'm not using this as the epilogue. I'm using this last timer as like the overall time. If we can beat this game in under 220, I'm going to be really happy. Sure, Jan. Oh, come on. There we go. Thanks, Mom. going to go home. We're going to have a fresh cooked meal with our parents. If you have stuck through this far, if you have gone this far in the video, even if you skipped to this video, please call up your parents. Let them know they matter. Let them know you're thankful for everything. Also new to Weird Autumn, your dad's outside. You can also talk to Mall Cop. Don't really care. Oh, something that's very important, probably the most important thing that I haven't touched down on yet. This right here. You ready for this one, buddy? Ready for this one? Because we have some spare time. Most important tech in the game. By far. I believe we just talked to Greg, I want to say. Should have used the sewers. Whatever. Janitor. Can also talk to him. Also going to not do that. There's no... Oh no! 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 Oh, come on. Taco Baco now hiring. Wasn't Taco Baco like... I'm not even gonna mention that. It's so unfunny, I'm just gonna let it die. Thank God my split key is not the U key. I would have failed this by now. Yes, please. Here, Vegas. It's like that one friend that doesn't have their life together, but feels like they can lecture you on how to get your life together. Just be has your life together, though. I don't know. That was unnecessary. Do I have my mic down? I do have my mic down. That's a shame. I should have just flipped it up and left it there. But here we are. Spoon feed me morals, baby. Spoon feed me. I don't know. I don't know. Big game, big words, hard to understand, please. Please tell me literally everything I should have picked up on my own. Come here. Come here. Come here. Okay, 219. We're going for 219. Get your asses in here. Rest in peace, Casey. No. Alright. We'll take the sub 220. What's up? What's up? What's good? Shaved what? 2 minutes 25 seconds on the previous record? How much time did it take me to do that? 6 days? 30 hours of work? I had to make a PowerPoint? I had to make a PowerPoint, print it out? Is that all it takes? Is that all it takes to be the fastest Night in the Woods player in the world, baby? The only one with medals in both Night in the Woods and Demon Tower?